we will move ahead with the new letter E. So you begin from inside and finish. Try and control the counter space as much as you can, and then there are these set of letters which are H. H will have a sender in them, so it is the same stroke as B. So it's a combination of B stroke and N stroke. Next letter is I. And then continuation of I becomes your J, which is this is not a dot, this is like a small line, okay, on top. Not too big, just a little bit. And then you have K. K is almost again similar stroke as B. Now K can be written in two ways. I will show you first way, which is, so we will not extend the stroke, we will write the simpler one first. So it's just that. When we actually start writing and explore strokes, then we'll have the stroke extending outwards, or making it more creative. Another way of writing K is so it's the P stroke, but I prefer using this style. You can avoid this. The next letter is L. L is again just the stroke. We've done this stroke while practicing only strokes. That's a L. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 letters. Now writing together, how is it going to look? So assuming one box as our X height, this is our ascender, and then we have a descender. So E, H, I, J, and L. So these are the next set of letters that you need to practice. Once you've finished letters so far, we'll go to the next set of letters. We'll start with O. So O is obviously only the X height. Now when you're writing O, you need to just make sure that it's slightly oval. So instead of writing an O like that, like a circle, you just need to make it a little angular for calligraphy, slightly angular. So if this is your box, your lines are touching to the corners. So this is a nice guideline for you to write the correct O. So O. Next letter is P. P is made up of two strokes. The first stroke. Now obviously this is your X height and this is your descender, so it's a descender stroke. And the second stroke is this. Now this stroke we practiced while doing the strokes. P made up of two strokes. Alright, so you have P. We go to the next letter, R. R is only the X height. Now while the difference between writing V and R is that R goes up and out. So make sure that your R looks distinctly different. Alright, so that's your R. We move to the next letter, that being S. Now while writing S, you need to obviously only the X height. You need to remember that there are two open counter spaces created while writing S. I'll explain you what I'm trying to tell you is that this counter space needs to be smaller and the bottom one needs to be bigger. Just take care of that, otherwise. Also I will show you another way of writing S, which is more forceful, not that easy though. So I write S like that. I want you to practice the basic one, but we certainly need to also practice the other S. Starting with the basic. So I need you to practice both the strokes. Next letter is T. Now T basically is X height and ascender, but while writing T, the ascender does not go all the way to the top. So the T looks like this. Your ascender just goes a little beyond your X height and there. So moving on, we are left with 3 more letters. We'll finish them in this assignment, them being X, Y and Z. So X is obviously the X height. So X is basically 1 stroke and 2 stroke. One stroke, 2 stroke. And then moving on to Y. We've written U, we've written G. Y is combination of U and G. So this is your U, it extends like G, that becomes your Y. X height and descender is understood, and I assume that we have come to the last letter, not last, second last letter now, and that is Z. So okay, we start precisely on X, and the bottom stroke just goes down a bit, so it's on the top, goes across, finish. Stroke goes across, finish. That's your Z. I've kept F as the last stroke. While writing F, you need to understand that it's the longest of all the strokes because you are going to use your X height, the ascender and the descender. So you start all the way from the top, stroke goes down and ends here. Now the top of X height is where your slit of F will appear. So if you're using this grid, I think you should use these lines as the guidelines. Try and write as close when you're practicing. Write as close as possible so that you know that all your strokes are parallel to each other. Write as close as possible. Alright, so hereby we finish our the A to Z entire lowercase. Practice all the letters in set the way I had given you. This was the first set. Second one was and then the third one was E H I J K L, and the last set is a bigger one with O P R S T X Y Z and F. So practice all the letters in the sets that I've given you. Next we'll move on towards writing words, spacing, etc.